Okay, imagine this. You're holding something really valuable. Like maybe your whole financial future is tied up in it, but it's not, gold bars or deeds to a house. It's just a string of words.
Yep.
And keeping those words safe, that responsibility is completely, utterly on your shoulders. The pressure is, well, it's pretty intense, almost paralyzing for some. So, welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into a really specific, modern kind of anxiety, the stress around storing your crypto seed phrase. We're going to explore why this seemingly simple list of words causes such deep-seated worry for people in the crypto space, and what it sort of tells us about decentralized finance, DeFi. This idea of taking out the middlemen, the banks, which sounds great, but as we'll see, it puts all the control and all the risk right onto you. That's where the anxiety kicks in. Now, for anyone maybe newer to this, let's quickly break down what a seed phrase actually is. It's basically a list of random words, usually 12 words, sometimes 24, common English words. Put them together in the right order, and bam, you can access your entire crypto wallet. Think of it as the master key.
The ultimate backup. If you lose your phone, forget your PIN, whatever, this phrase gets you back in. But the stakes are just unbelievably high. You forget it. It's gone. You lose the paper it's written on. Gone. Someone else finds it. Your funds can be drained instantly. And like our sources really hammer home, there's no customer support number to call. No, forgot my password link. No hotline. It's just digital exile. A really terrifyingly final situation.
It really is. And that completely changes the game compared to traditional finance, doesn't it? I mean, we just take it for granted that our bank has safety measures, that there's some way to recover a lost password online. There's always a process, someone to help sort things out. With a seed phrase, all of that just evaporates. Poof, you, the individual, you become the vault, the security guard, the entire system. And that's a level of personal responsibility that's, frankly, quite alien to most of us. It creates this unique kind of pressure cooker situation right away.
Yeah, that difference is absolutely key. And it immediately makes you wonder, okay, so how do people actually deal with this? How do they cope when they're used to having those safety nets? So our mission today is to really unpack this. We'll look at the paranoia, the sometimes ingenious solutions people come up with, and sometimes the really disastrous ones too. And ultimately, we want to understand what this whole anxiety thing tells us about this mix of freedom and, well, heavy responsibility that defines the crypto world. So yeah, let's dive in and feel some of that digital anxieties ourselves. Okay, so the moment you generate that seed phrase, you write it down. That's when the paranoia really starts. It's not really if something bad could happen to it, it's more like what bad thing and how could it happen? And the first set of worries are things most people can probably relate to, even if the value involved is, way higher, like, okay, do I just keep it on a piece of paper? But then your mind immediately goes to, what if there's a flood, a fire? What if, I don't know, a cleaner finds it? Or a curious roommate stumbles across it. It might look like just a random list of words to them, but if they know what it is, okay, so maybe paper feels too flimsy. What about engraving it on steel? That sounds tough, right? Yeah, more permanent.
More durable.
But then the fear just shifts, doesn't it? Now you're worrying about a break-in. Someone gets into your house, finds this weird steel plate with words on it.
Yeah.
If they recognize it, you're in trouble.
Right. The physical security becomes the main concern.
Exactly. And then there's the idea of just memorizing it. Sounds like the ultimate stealth mode, maybe. No physical trace.
Seems perfect, almost.
Until you remember that, well, human memory isn't exactly foolproof, is it?
Notorious for being fragile, yeah.
A bump on the head, getting older, even just a really stressful day. Poof, it could vanish. Just like data from a crashed hard drive.
And that really highlights the core difference we talked about. It's this paradigm shift in security. Traditionally, we outsource trust. We trust banks. We trust tech companies. They have the infrastructure, the teams, the protocols to handle security. They absorb a lot of that risk. But with a seed phrase, nope. It all comes back to you, 100%. You are the single point of failure for every possible threat. Physical, digital, even biological, like memory loss. And that makes storing this digital key. It makes it a source of really intense personal vulnerability. It can feel quite isolating, actually.
That's such a good way to put it. We all have important papers, right? Like birth certificates, passports, maybe house deeds. We keep them safe. But, I mean, imagine if all your money, every cent, depended on keeping one specific piece of paper safe, or one steel plate hidden well enough, or just remembering those coming forwards perfectly. And crucially, with zero backup plan if you mess up.
Yeah.
No insurance, no oops button.
Yeah, no central authority to appeal to.
That's the level of stress we're exploring here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
different. Okay, but people are resourceful, right? Faced with this kind of pressure, they get creative. Sometimes it's genuinely clever. Sometimes it's a bit out there.
Yeah, definitely.
And sometimes these clever plans backfire spectacularly.
This is where you see some really fascinating and sometimes cautionary tales unfold. We came across some wild examples in our research, like one common technique is splitting the seed phrase. You literally cut the list in half or maybe into 3 parts, and then you store each part in a completely different place, sometimes really far apart, like in safe deposit boxes in different cities or even different countries.
The logic being that no single event, like a fire or theft in one location, can compromise the whole phrase.
Right. It makes sense on paper. But it also means you've now got 2 or 3 things to keep track of.
Doubles or triples your potential points of failure in a way. Lose one piece and the rest is useless.
Then there are the encoding methods. People try to disguise the phrase, maybe weave the words into a poem they write.
Oh.
Or hide them inside, say, a recipe for cookies, hoping nobody looks too closely at grandma's secret ingredients.
Trying to use obscurity as security.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the risk there is, well, maybe you forget the encoding method. Or it just makes it more complex and prone to error when you need to recover it.
Or someone figures out the code.
And then there's this one story. It just perfectly captures the whole dilemma, both the ingenuity and the potential for absurdity. There's this guy, apparently, who wanted ultimate security,
Yeah.
like Fort Knox level personal security.
Okay.
So he gets his seed phrase tattooed on his leg, but not the words themselves, in Morse code.
Wow, okay, that's committed. And kind of clever, I guess. Permanent. Always with you.
Hidden in plain sight. Yeah, it seems smart, right?
Hell.
Until, oops, he apparently posted a gym selfie online later on.
Oh, no. Don't tell me.
Yep, you guessed it. The photo clearly showed enough of his leg that people could decode about half of his seed phrase right there from the tattoo.
Ouch. Oh, that's painful. The ultimate security measure becomes the ultimate vulnerability because of social media?
Exactly. It really makes you think, doesn't it? Trying too hard to be clever can sometimes blow up in your face.
That's precisely the point. It raises this really important question about unintended consequences, doesn't it? When we try to solve these complex security problems with our own, sometimes overly elaborate personal schemes, we can accidentally create new weaknesses. The more complex the system splitting, encoding, tattooing in code, the more chances there are for something to go wrong. You forget how you split it. You mess up the encoding. You post a selfie. It's this strange irony, isn't it? The very attempt to make something super secure can introduce brand new, totally unforeseen risks. It just goes to show how tricky it is to perfectly secure something so valuable and, crucially, so irrecoverable.
So stepping back from the specific stories, what's the bigger picture here? What does all this anxiety really tell us about crypto itself? Because it feels like more than just, a technical challenge. It feels like it taps into something deeper.
I think it absolutely does. The core idea that emerges from all this is that crypto, especially in its purest DeFi form, is this radical combination of freedom and responsibility. Think about traditional banking. The implicit promise is, don't worry your head about the details. We've got security covered. We'll handle it. They take on the liability, mostly. But crypto, it flips that completely. The message is more like, okay, you wanted control, you got it, you're the boss now, so don't mess it up.
Yeah.
And that shift, that direct empowerment, well, it also comes with this profound psychological weight. You are solely responsible. There's no one else to blame if things go wrong.
And that weight is real. It's not abstract. Our sources talk about how this genuinely keeps people awake at night. It makes them physically go and check their safe where the paper is stored, maybe every month, just for reassurance. Still there, still readable. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That constant low-level hum of worry.
Yeah. It makes people paranoid about having guests over. Could someone find it? Someone maybe even looking for it?
Yeah.
It's this continuous background radiation of anxiety that just comes with the territory of true financial self-sovereignty.
You could almost frame the seed phrase itself as a kind of test. It's testing how much personal responsibility each of us is actually willing or able to handle in this emerging financial landscape. It forces you to be meticulous, to be organized, to think about long-term risks in a way maybe you never had to before. It really asks the question, are you prepared for this kind of freedom? A freedom that demands constant vigilance and offers no safety net.
Which brings us back to that really potent summary from one of our sources. When people talk about crypto being stressful, yes, the market volatility is a big part of it. The price is going up and down like crazy. That gets the headlines. But there's also this other, perhaps deeper stress. It's the quiet terror, as they put it. The quiet terror of 24 little words scribbled on paper, sitting in a drawer, waiting. Just waiting. Waiting for you to need them, or waiting for disaster to strike, or maybe just waiting to be forgotten. It's quite a thought. Wow. Okay, what a journey into this specific corner of the crypto world. We've really seen how this incredible digital freedom, the promise of being your own bank, comes packaged with this equally intense, often nerve-wracking personal responsibility, that seed phrase. It's way more than just a password. It's like the physical symbol of this whole new way of thinking about money and trust. Trusting ourselves, our own systems, our own vigilance, instead of relying on the old institutions.
Exactly. And that really leaves us with a fascinating question to ponder, something for you, the listener, to think about. If this version of financial freedom, the one that requires such an extreme, unbuffered level of personal security management, this constant, quiet terror, if this becomes more common, what does that mean for society more broadly? Does it truly empower everyone equally by giving them direct control? Or could it, maybe unintentionally, create a new kind of digital divide, a divide between those who have the means, the technical skill, the sheer meticulousness, perhaps, to handle this intense personal security burden, and those who, for whatever reason, maybe lack of resources, maybe lack of technical know-how, maybe just unwilling to live with that constant anxiety, cannot or will not take it on. It's definitely something to keep in mind as this whole financial landscape keeps evolving. What kind of freedom are we building, and who is it truly for?